Hi, this is Jeff Kober, and we welcome you to Disney Insights. We imagine the excitement of heading to Florida to visit Walt Disney World or Universal, SeaWorld, beaches, sunshine, and more. Our itineraries fill up quickly with things to do, and yet one of the most important ingredients in any vacation is where to stay. This is particularly true if you're planning on a total holiday vacation stay, or if you're being joined with other family and friends, or if you're looking for a truly unique experience in your accommodation. We visit with Danielle and Shane Peterson, who, as Disney fans, have created some amazing vacation homes for families looking for a park-like experience when they come back at night from the parks. We'll look at their journey, how they got into the vacation rental arena, the huge marketplace here in Orlando, and the amazing wow creations that Danielle and Shane have developed. Here, only the hallway separates you from the worlds of Star Wars, Harry Potter, Frozen, Beauty and the Beast, and more. And if you're thinking of doing an AirBNB type stay while visiting Central Florida, this podcast is for you. Moreover, I think you'll be touched by their story and how very difficult circumstances led them to creating a work of love together. Join us as we talk about finding a magical place to stay at the heart of the magic. This podcast is produced by myself and Performance Journeys, which offers training, keynotes, development, and consultant support to organizations big and small, and entrepreneurs new and established. With a wide variety of resources and long-time in-the-trench experience, we offer workshops, online learning, coaching, and so much more to organizations that want to build their teams, raise organizational excellence, improve leadership, and create customer loyalty. Check us out at performancejourneys.com. And with our podcast, be sure to check out our website, disneyinsights.com, where we offer key points, photos, videos, links, and more. Note that YouTube now carries our podcast, so please subscribe to Disney Insights YouTube page, as it'll be more a part of our social media strategy moving forward. With all this, we encourage and appreciate any positive ratings, reviews, or referrals you can offer to others. Through our shared faith, I met Danielle and Shane a little more than 6 months ago. Turns out that they grew up very close to where my wife grew up, in two small towns on the south end of Salt Lake City. They had brought their family, to include 4 boys, out to Orlando to not just build a business, but create that business together as husband and wife. Difficult circumstances that they will share in the podcast will inspire you to reconsider your own life's journey, even when times are tough. Now, other than share my own thoughts about how to navigate the parks, I really do very little around vacation planning topics. And this is by no means some paid advertisement for Magical Adventure Homes, but not only are these homes really amazing, these are my friends, and their work is a product of dreams coming true when you come together. So, without further ado, let's hear from Danielle and Shane. All right. It is my pleasure to be with Danielle and Shane today and to talk about their experience, and what they create is so above and beyond amazing. I feel like a worthless father for how I spent. I tried to design my kids' bedrooms, with Mickey and Pocahontas back in the day, but this is beyond anything and everything. So I'm just really thrilled to have you both here. Thanks for joining me today.
Well, thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Excited.
So, just give us a little bit of your journey to Orlando, your background, Disney, your background in doing this kind of thing. Tell us a little bit about your experience.
Yeah, we're both from Utah. Both grew up here in Utah and met here and got married and are raising our family here.
And we have loved Disney probably from the time we got married. We actually went to Disneyland on our honeymoon. And then we have gone to Disney most years while we've been raising our kids.
Yeah.
Can I just ask, whose idea was it to go on a honeymoon to Disneyland? Because if I had raised that idea with Kathy, she would have.
But then we decided that we were so close to Disney, we should just go.
Well, that works. That works. Great. And so when did that progress to Walt Disney World?
So we've always loved Disney. And in 2021, we were looking for a vacation rental to buy. And our top choice was to go to Florida and to buy one near Disney World. And we actually had the house under contract before we had even seen it and before we had actually ever visited Florida. So it was our very first time going to Florida. We just knew it had all the elements that we love and that we would love going there. And we have. So we went down with the kids. We checked out the house. We finished signing on the house. And then
wow, you're brave.
Were super excited. It was kind of a dream for us to be able to have a vacation rental down there and to go down often as a family.
You knew this was going to require annual passes, didn't you? This is where it gets really crazy.
That was like an added benefit that was very exciting.
Yes, eventually we did evolve into having annual passes. Made a lot more sense than all the times that we were paying to go.
Yeah. So we had a property manager take care of that house for the first few years, and it did pretty well. We also, when we bought it, we knew we wanted to theme it out. So within that first year, we went through and themed out the house. And that was probably the most excited we have ever been before a trip, was to go down and see it once it was all themed out. Like, we couldn't sleep the night before that flight.
Now, you have 4 boys. Did they have input on this theming, or how did they no? Looking at Mom. No. Who is the designer of this team here?
I do all, yeah, I'm guilty.
Yeah.
So
I would say she's a Disney nerd. She likes to study how they do things, what they do, the psychology.
You study well, but I assume, Shane, that you're doing the carpentry side of this.
I am the physical labor. I also do the tech side of things too.
Oh my gosh.
Now we hire out lots of contractors, but it kind of evolved because that house started to kind of struggle with that property manager, and we didn't feel like they were taking very good care of our house. And so in 2024, we decided we were just going to learn how to self-manage. And so we took over the house, and that brought us into a whole new world of short-term rentals, which has been a really exciting journey, I would say. So Shane took over a lot of the communications and so much of the short-term rental side of it. And we dove into all the tiny things and all the tiny details that make a guest stay really great. And in my mind, I had thought, oh, all of these big, dramatic, eye-catching things are what's the most important. And they are super important. But as we've been through this journey, we've learned that the tiny details are just as important as the big, dramatic things.
Well, and what I learned when I visited your house is, like, don't you have some kind of like book or ledger or something? You have somebody who checks all the props, all of those little details you put in place to make sure they're there, that they're functioning, they're working. How do you do that?
So that was also one of the sticking points, is we had the property manager wasn't quite keeping up on everything the way we had wanted. And then even with our boots on the ground, we still had some things that weren't kept up exactly the way that we had always wanted it. So this last year when we were down, we found an amazing girl to come work for us, and she's fantastic, and she goes through and she makes sure that everything is in the right rooms, the right bathrooms, everything is put back so it looks like a first stay every time. That's our goal.
Yep. So any of those pillows that migrate from one room to the next, she finds that and puts it back.
Dare not a Rapunzel pillow end up in Diagon Alley. So that's absolutely crazy. And so now you had your first home, but now you have these two homes in Story Lake. And when
That
you
was
go to your website, I mean, we're talking about all of these sleeping 22, 20, up to 24 people, up to 18 people. This is a ton of people. Tell me about the kind of people who are showing up and wanting to stay in this kind of thing.
so first, I think we want to kind of tell how we got into that last year,
Oh,
because
please,
that was
please.
kind of a crazy story. So we had
Yeah.
started to self-manage and started to kind of figure things out. And we went through a period of several years of figuring out how to do these rentals. And we loved it, and it was really fun. Then in 2024, in December of 2024, Shane got unexpectedly, very unexpectedly, laid off from a really great job. Actually, it was on his birthday. It was quite the
Were
fun.
you in the are you in the IT business? What was it
Yeah.
that you were? Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then it was December, so I knew that we had about a month left of our health insurance. So I decided I was going to take the kids to get all of our dental visits. And I was 41 at the time, and I thought I haven't done a mammogram. So we went and got well checkups, like as quick as we could in December. And then Christmas, I got a call that I needed to go back in and get a diagnostic mammogram because something had shown up. So we went back in and found out that I have breast cancer. So
Wow.
it kind of was a wild few months being laid off and then having cancer all at the same time.
Bit of a double whammy.
Yeah. So one
Yeah.
of those things is enough to like pull the rug out from you. And then
Yeah.
having both of them at the same time made us made us look at life. I think cancer is a really interesting disease because it makes you stop. And instead of thinking that I had endless days ahead of me, I had to really look at what would happen if, if my time is cut short. Want to change things? What would we want to do differently? And when we stop to really look and evaluate what would we want in life, what are we going to change, we decided we wanted to try to figure out a job that would allow us to spend as much time together as we could, as much time as a couple and as much time with our kids as we could. Our kids are now they're 16 to 7, but we only have a few years left before they're starting to leave the house. So we really wanted to design a life around what was important to us and finding a way to spend as much time together as a family.
And so we thought, why not invent our own job that we could do? And it was build these houses. And so we started doing some groundwork spring of 2025, and then figured out where we wanted to go and what we wanted to do, and found an investor partner to work with. Um, truly, truly feel blessed. And then we created that life that we wanted to be together, work together, and build these houses together, which is just turned out so awesome and fun.
Yeah, so last year we made a huge switch and we changed the kids all to online and homeschool. And then we decided to live in Florida for half of the year and to get these houses up and going. And all of the cancer ended up being really best case scenario. When they went
Awesome.
in, they found out that if I had waited a couple more months, it would have had lymph node involvement. But it was
Stage
stage one, they were able to remove it all with surgery. And because of the timing of everything, if I had waited even a few months to get that mammogram, it would have been in the lymph nodes and much more severe case. So it was just huge evidence to us that God is in the details of our life. And we were so anyway.
Yeah. So to your question, we
Well, no,
decided,
let me just say
yeah,
this. You know, I think about having walked through your homes, and I'm now thinking, okay, this isn't a labor of love. This is a labor of two people in love who wanted to do it together in love. And I am touched by the fact that because I'm not sure. I'm not sure that I would be thinking about, okay, how am I going to pull together, a Tron game room if I'm going through unemployment or my spouse's health. But at the same time, I could see that really that wasn't what it was all about. It was really about how do we find a way to live our lives together and to find that place together. And I think that is the just the amazing part of this story. And thank you for sharing it.
Yeah.
And then and then you see the fruit of your labors, which is just over the top as to what you've created. Um, I I I I can see that you could farm out some of your work here, Shane, but really, who are you going to get? Well, in this town, maybe you could find somebody who could put together an AT-AT for somebody's bedroom. But to completely Star Wars out a bedroom like that and to create what you've done is really so over the top. But anyway, I was talking about the fact that, okay, who are the kinds of folks who really enjoy this particular type of stay?
Yeah, so as we got into it, we love traveling with our family, and we love going with Danielle's family to Disney all the time. And so we thought, hey, the best ideal candidates that we want to build for ourselves, but also create those experiences for others, is the multi-generational families or the multi-family groups. The people who, grandma and grandpa want to take their adult children and their grandchildren on a Disney World vacation or a Universal Studios vacation. And so we've designed the homes with them in mind. So we have like the really fun, exciting themed rooms for the little ones. We have some cool themed, but not too crazy themed for the teenagers and some of the adults. And then we have just the subtle touches for the grandma and grandpa or the older generations that say, I don't need all of that. I just want
A touch of the magic.
something a little fun. Yeah.
Yeah, we've tried to go through and think of all the people that would be staying in the house, from babies all the way up into 70, 80-year-olds, and then add little bits of details for all of those ages. And I think our favorite part is when we hear back in the comments that it worked and that people appreciate it. And when people comment and say there was something for everyone to do, from the 1-year-olds all the way up to the 80-year-olds, everybody loved the house, and there was something special for all of them. That's always that's always really touching to hear back.
Yeah.
Is there a favorite room or tell me what you for each of you, what are your favorite rooms that you have created that you love most?
What would you say
Well,
yours is?
my favorite room is our Harry Potter one that we just did.
The
And
Diagon Alley?
the Diagon Alley one, I think it's
Ah.
it's my favorite because I dreamed it all up and then had to communicate it to the artists and the carpenters and all of the contractors exactly how to put it together. And then spent hours organizing wands to look just kind of disheveled. And it's crazy how long it takes to make something look like it was just thrown there. But it was really fun to put that room together. And I mean, one of the things we love to do is add more immersive effects into the room. So that room has the LED stars on the ceiling, and that
Oh.
one has music in the room. A lot of our rooms have music. That room was really fun.
And you always seem to have a door leading to somewhere you had no idea where it was going to go to. These little
Right?
secret coves and little corners. I love
I'm
it.
kind of a Harry Potter nut, so maybe my favorite are always the Harry Potter rooms. But in another house, we have a hidden door with one of the Harry Potter rooms, and the bookshelf opens up and is a completely hidden door. And that was fun to put in too.
Very cool. Yeah, this is so, and you have to check out their website. But these are not rooms where they just went, online and found a couple of props and put it around the room, with a nice touch of paint. This is so decked out like Diagon Alley, and the murals and the gaslight lamp and the little just touches with where the beds are and how they kind of form into the store uh, areas. It's just really clever. How about
That
you,
room was
Shane?
really That room was really fun too, because we wanted it to look like it was Diagon Alley, the street at night.
Mm.
So the beds are all part of the wand shop. So when you walk into the room, you don't even see the beds. It just looks like the street of Diagon Alley. We took out the carpet, we changed it to tile, that's cobblestone tile. And then as you go around the shops, then you can see the entrance to the bed. But there's also like a little door that the kids can come in and out. A lot of our artists that worked on the house were all had worked for Disney in the past, and they have fantastic talent and skills. It was really fun. It was a fun project.
Yeah. And for me, my favorite, I would say I'm a big Star Wars fan. And so our Star Wars bunk room in Adventure Awaits that's got the AT-AT walker.
It's
And
so
I
over
mean
the
that
top.
it's just you walk in and you're like, wow, like, whoa, this is huge. It's taller than me and I'm 6'2". And it just fills the room. It has the slide, it has the music, and it has the lights. I don't know what I would have given as a kid to sleep in that room.
When you walk through these rooms, your mouth goes from wide open to this funny little grin that you have when you discover all these little treats along the way. It really is such a discovery. And when we were touring it, your kids were just all, kind of doing their thing. They knew they knew
They've been there.
all the ins and outs, and they couldn't get enough of it. It was just so fun to see them enjoy that setting for themselves.
I think that's one of the things I didn't expect. I knew kids would love it. We know kids really well, and so we design it with kids, teenagers, and all these things in mind. But as we started to show it to people, I didn't realize how much adults would love it and how it brings out the kid in all of these adults. And it's really fun to watch. We went through Adventure Awaits with it's actually our investor partner, his brother and his wife,
Hmm.
and he went through the rooms, and he afterward told us, I was just delighted going through the rooms. So to have someone in their 50s, a doctor in his 50s, telling us how he was utterly delighted just going through the rooms was really fun.
That's cool. That's cool. And then beyond each of the rooms being decked out and whatnot, you have a lot of amenities that come with these places. Talk a little bit about those.
My favorite area in the house, on both of the houses that are in Story Lake, is actually the back pool area. It's set right on a lake, and we picked out those properties specifically so that they would be right on a lake. And you have the lake and the nature preserve. They're actually both on the same street because
Beautiful
we
view.
loved the location so much.
Mhm.
And they've got the nature preserve. So my favorite thing to do in the entire house is actually to sit on that back pool area and watch the birds. There's so many birds that come and go, and the wildlife is incredible back there. That was an unexpected thing to discover, was actually one of my,
Yeah, that
Yeah.
it's
some
just peaceful
was
and
there.
amazing.
All three of the
Nice.
houses do have a private pool and a hot tub and that back patio. None of them have backyard neighbors, so that you don't have people looking down on you when you're swimming.
Yeah.
And then we have a game room, a private arcade in all three of them with fully functional arcade games.
Commercial grade arcade.
Yeah. And and then the two newer ones we put theater rooms in. We actually opted for our very first one, we opted for a bunk room for the kids, like a big immersive Star Wars bunk room for the kids, which turns out awesome too. And then just good common gathering spaces. So,
One of the things that I realized, because we go down with my family, which is about 20 people, and we'll
Hmm.
stay in the house, and it's fabulous. Everyone has a room to spread out. They each have bedrooms. The kids can have tons of cousin time. If you need alone time, there's space to go do your alone time. There's tons of room in the kitchen and gathering spaces to get together as a family. And there's so many things to entertain the kids. Another comment we get from guests all the time is that they were over at Disney at the parks, and their kids, middle of the day, decided that they wanted to leave and come back to the house.
That is
Which,
that is your ultimate compliment. When you get that is so funny. Now what is the length that you find families? Because I do know that our guests that come on holiday from the UK, they tend to like to stay a couple of weeks. Do you find though, and we as Americans, we got to do it all in about a 3-day weekend. So where do people, what's the average that you're finding for people wanting to stay there?
Most people stay about a week, give or take a couple of days. I would say from the UK we see longer. It's 10 to 14 days. And then if people are like from the local area, they might stay just for a weekend. But generally speaking, if people are traveling from somewhere in the United States, I'd say it's about 7 days.
Okay, so that gives you, and so what's interesting is growing up in Phoenix. Uh, when we went to the beach in California, we went one day to Disneyland, growing up. And now with California Adventure, I'd probably spend a couple more days. I find, of course, families who come here, there are many of them that are just, they got a ticket for every day they're here. But do you find that some of them just, no, we're gonna do a couple of days of the parks, but really we want to just enjoy being on vacation in our vacation home?
Yeah, I would say a lot of people pick our houses because they plan to have a couple of down days and they want to
Good.
have a fun, cool place to do it.
and we've heard from guests, if they have scheduled to do every single day in the park, they usually end up leaving and coming back because they realize that was a mistake.
So that's exhausting.
One, it's exhausting, and two, there's so much to do in the house that they just wanted time together to be in the house.
So let's talk about some of the considerations, whether or not they choose your particular vacation property or something, something similar, something near. What are the lessons for somebody learning? Because a lot of listeners, they think, okay, you can only stay really at a Disney hotel, maybe, like Buena Vista or iDrive or something, but they tend to think the hotel. So what mindset do you need to be in? What are the considerations you need to have for thinking about actually just staying in an Airbnb type situation like this?
I think there's so many advantages to staying off property in some of these homes, and there are so many incredible homes in Orlando. It seriously has some of the most incredible homes in probably the world with how immersive some of these houses are. But one of the things is if you're going with a group, it's a lot more fun to stay together in a house than to be divided up into hotel rooms. So just being able to be together in the house is a huge advantage. On top of that, you have a price advantage when you're going and booking a house together and then splitting the cost. It's much, much less expensive than
Hadn't thought
staying
about
on
that.
property. And then when you're staying in these themed homes, these themed rooms, maybe I'm biased, but I think they're more exciting than staying in the Disney hotel rooms.
A
I mean, when you
tight
have
little box
kids
space.
sleeping in a castle with slides and playhouses and, you know, your own private theater room and your own private pool, there's not, they are an experience in and of themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, and your square footage is amazingly big for some of these homes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're all right about 5,000 square feet.
Yeah, it is absolutely amazing how much space. I just you wouldn't think about it from the street, but when you go through it, it's a two-story home. Uh it's amazing. Yeah.
They're kind of hidden from the street. It does not look that big.
It,
They are.
it yeah, you're not gonna see a castle when you show up in the front of this thing, but the whole thing unfolds completely as you enter and you further into the rest of the house. So um
Yeah.
so really one of the great things is it's easy to be able to just create meals there. Maybe your first meal, maybe your last meal.
Yeah.
Be able to save a little bit on that, or save money toward a nicer meal than over at Disney
Yep.
because you've you've just cerealed it for the morning.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. You can do breakfast at the house and then take off to go rope drop. So
And you're
Yeah.
not far from a Walmart. Where do you guys end up? How do you get groceries? Do you tend to have them called
There's
in, or what do you?
Walmart, Target nearby.
Oh yeah, Target,
Um,
obviously, yeah.
yeah, Publix.
Mm.
So yeah,
Sam's, our Sam's is
the
nearby,
oh yeah,
yeah,
so you
yeah,
Sam's
could.
too.
12
Yeah,
minutes away.
If you're
the
going to be in
Story
a
Lake
home that
ones are
size, you need to go Sam's to buy out the
yeah.
food you need.
The Story Lake ones are right in the heart of Kissimmee, so you have all of the amenities, any restaurant that you could want, any shopping opportunity you want, real close.
A-
And
And then
it's only 10
amenities, there
minutes to
are
Disney.
pools. There's a whole pool complex that Story Lake has.
Yeah,
Yeah, Champions Gate does too. They both
Oh
have
yeah,
really amazing resort amenities. So all of them are short-term rental resorts that offer incredible resorts. So you have water slides, you have lazy rivers, you have large pools, splash pads. They have
gyms,
gyms and all the
even
resorts that,
even office workspace.
yeah.
so perfect. You can stay, enjoy one day. You can enjoy the day at the house, but still send your kids off to the lazy river and the pool over
Mhm.
at the clubhouse or whatever while the rest of you take a nap. So I love that. And getting to and from the parks. What does that look like for you guys?
The kind of depends on where you stay. The Story Lake houses for us, they're 12 minutes to Hollywood Studios. And because you don't go on I-4, you actually don't deal with traffic ever. And so it's consistently 12 minutes no matter when you go. And then, there's other resorts that are closer to Animal Kingdom or maybe Epcot. So it is at 12 minutes, you can totally Uber that, and that's not a problem, or you can rent a car. And then Champions Gate it's got its own advantages. It's further out, so you don't deal with traffic. It's a little more uh, further from all of the hustle and bustle
A little
of
more suburban.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. And so that one you could Uber, but it's maybe a 25-30 minute drive. And so you may want to rent a car for there.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's also beautiful out there.
Yeah.
Um, all right. Well, what have we missed of all this? What have you found to be the response of people who have stayed?
I
Hey,
What?
go ahead.
Oh, I think one of the things that just makes us so excited is when we get to hear back from guests about their excitement going through the house. I really wish I could just watch people when they come in, because what we hear coming back from guests are, oh, if only you could have heard all the kids squealing and like how much excitement there was, and the kids like running from room to room, checking it all out. And then we add all this immersive music from each room. So each
Oh,
room
that's
really is its
right.
own experience as you're
You've
going
got like
through
a
each
whole
of the rooms.
soundtrack running for each room. It is,
Yeah.
and
I mean,
dimmers and oh my gosh, yes.
one of my little favorites is the Beauty and the Beast room. I designed it
Mm.
not to be like a normal Beauty and the Beast room. It's more Beast Castle. So it's all inspired from that stained glass window that's in Beast Castle. And it has custom columns that we made, and the ceiling is incredible that the artist painted. And
Very
then we have a
tasteful.
stained glass window that's in there. And but my favorite part is to lay on the bed and to listen to the soundtrack that I put together for that room.
Mm.
Because when my sister and I were little, we listened to that soundtrack every night when we went to bed. And so putting that soundtrack together brought back so many memories. When she came down to help me with the pictures, I told her, you have to lay here on the bed and we're going to
Oh,
listen to this. And it, anyway, brought back
that
all
is
those
so
memories.
sweet. That
But
is so cool. I totally get that. That is, yeah, I mean, it is so immersive. I imagine there are people who are there a day or two and then all of a sudden realize they were missing what was behind door number whatever, and didn't
there's,
realize
I
there was a whole other world.
it's funny with Airbnb because you have to create these amazing pictures for
Yeah.
people to grab their attention. But then what actually creates an amazing stay are all these little tiny things that are in the house when you're actually there. So the pictures look fantastic, but a lot of the work goes into these tiny details. Like in one of the houses, I have Horcruxes in the Harry Potter room and Tom Riddle's diary that you can discover. And each of the doors have different dials that you can change to themed, like come back. Oh, what am I trying to say? Like come back soon or we're out, but it's all themed for the room. Anyway, there's little things to discover throughout
Yeah.
every house.
Lots of little surprises.
You think there's going to be another house to come?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm sure.
We're just getting started.
Yeah. In fact, we've started up an Instagram where you can follow along. We give lots of tips and tricks
Please.
to planning a Disney vacation that's off property, because it's a little different. You do it a little differently off property than on property.
I
And
love
then
that.
you
What
can
is that
follow along as we
Instagram?
design these houses.
Yeah, what is that Instagram account?
It's Magical Adventure Homes.
With dots between each word. So magical.adventure.homes.
And you had suggested that those who are listening to this podcast, if they want a little bit of a discount, can go to your site and just type in Disney Insights, all lowercase. Is that?
Yeah.
Is
Disney
that easy
Insights would be the discount code, and then magicaladventurehomes.com is the website. You can check out our properties there and get you a discount with that discount code.
Yeah, we'd love to give your listeners a discount.
Well, you two are delightful. Thank you for just sharing, and thank you for sharing your story, and thank you for just bringing, just taking your talents and bringing this little piece of magic to Orlando. It just makes this whole community just all the more special. Thank you both, Danielle and Shane, and you just thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Well, thank you
Thanks
so
for having
much
us.
for having us. Thanks for allowing us this time to talk with you. It
You
was very
bet.
fun.
If you can't tell, we
really
love to
enjoyed
talk
it.
about it.
It's all good. I love talking about it. So this has been fun. Thanks so much.
Okay.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Take care.
Well, my thanks again to Danielle and Shane for sharing their lives and the creations that they have built together. If you want to know more about their homes, please visit www.magicaladventurehomes.com. You can also join them on their Instagram page at magical.adventure.homes. And know that if you mention Disney Insights, all in lowercase, they'll help provide you a discount for you. Well, that pretty much wraps it up for us. Thanks for joining us for this podcast. Know that, as in the title of my organization, Performance Journeys, it's as much about the journey as it is about performance. Find the second star to the right and keep going straight on till you reach it. Follow the compass of your heart and know that with a smile and a song, a little faith, effort, and pixie dust, your dreams can come true. After all, if we can dream it, we can do it. Until next time, bright suns, we'll see you real soon.